Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho here. Welcome to episode 14 of the Encore Podcast. If this is your first time listening, this is a podcast where artists, musicians, any creative entrepreneur that wants to take their passion for music and art and turn it into a full-time business. So if that's you, tap in, subscribe, tap in with the community. I'm here with my co-host today, my boy Cruz.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And we are here today with Amir, one of 914's finest, one of the smartest artists I know.
Smartest artist.
Nah, for a fact, bro. Like a bright ass guy, like, you know, shedding wisdom to a lot of people in this community, bro. And I couldn't be more blessed to be with him today. A lyrical legend, like for a fact, bro. Like some people put you on their top list of like people around the community and just in rap game in general. And that's like you earned that spot, bro. Like for real. Like for real, bro. Like I'll let your project play front to back, and it's just straight gems and flows and like quality content the whole way, bro.
That
like
sincerely,
fact,
bro. I really sincerely appreciate that, King.
And it's all facts, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That's love.
How you doing today?
Hey man, I'm here, man. I feel good, bro. You know, my spirit is good, my health is good, family good, everybody's straight. We here, we on this side of the dirt, so
there you go.
We can make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so we always want to know where people come from. So you're from Mount Vernon, correct?
Yeah, Mount Vernon by way of a few other places, right? Let's clear this up, right? Because I know people. Some people like, he was in my hood, he was in this hood.
Yeah.
I was born in New Rochelle, right?
Okay.
I was born in New Rochelle, moved to Mount Vernon to McCreary Avenue. It was in McCreary my mother moved to. Lived there, moved to VA. Came back from VA, then I came back to Mount Vernon. I've been in Mount Vernon ever since.
Okay.
You know, just some school time in VA out there, came back to New York, and that was that. So I was born here, left, came back, and I've been, you know, in Mount Vernon since that.
There you go.
But I'm not like I'm not like running around busting guns in the streets of Mount Vernon, you know, because it's a stigma. I got to clear that up too, because it's a lot of cool fly dudes from Mount Vernon just try to lay low and do their thing. New Rochelle, Mount Vernon. So New Rochelle and Mount Vernon, I'm like dual hood citizenship. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Man.
All right. Well, could you tell the people how you got started in music and what you currently do today?
I got started, man. Music, my first instrument was a pair of congos.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a pair of
A pair of congos?
Was it like church or something?
No, I had them in the crib. I remember vaguely. I remember beating on them a lot. I was about 4 or 5, right? And then when I turned about 11, my grandmother had a church, and there was an organ in that joint. It was drums first. I went to the drums, and my uncle is older, so he kicked me off the drums and said, nigga, go get on the organ. And, you know, the organ wasn't really the sexy. I wanted to beat the drums, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when he wasn't there, I would try to play the drums, and then it turned into this affinity for the keys. I wasn't like a real player, but, you know.
You were teaching yourself the keys?
Like Lean on Me, and
yeah.
when the Saints go marching in, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So those are like my first level of intimacy with keys and chords and stuff like that. So, but then you talk about hip hop, then progressively over the years, I just started to have this love for music as a whole, right? And then from there, 15, 14, I started writing rhymes and shit. And the rest was just off to the races. I would write down, actually I would memorize other people's songs, and you know, whether it's Biggie, Nas, Jay, would just write down their raps, you know. And,
Did you plan to be a rapper then?
I don't think, great question, bro. I don't know if the plan was to be a rapper, right, or artist.
You felt the pull towards it, maybe?
I think I just had this real, like, it really was an infinity of love for like how they play with the words, and some of it was when I realized that there was a level of intelligence or cleverness and wittiness in the wordplay, and how the schemes were, and how they would this shit was coagulating, you know what I'm saying, and it would just landing on beats, and it was a lot happening in these moments of 45 seconds or 60 seconds of a verse, and it just became like this. Oh shit! It was like an oh shit moment, and then, you know, from there I just started writing, and just never looked back. It wasn't for, like, I would say, it wasn't just for a look. It was just, I really loved the art of verbiage and using it for communication. It says, well, communication is communication is words are the vehicle to communication. Might have been Plato or Socrates that said some shit like that. I'm not saying no fly shit. I'm just saying I remember the quote.
Yeah.
It sounds slick. They, so you know, he said that now. You know, but that's where the shit started, bro. Just a love for wordplay on rhythm.
There you go.
Yeah.
Word. So fast forward a little bit. You went to Fordham University and
Yes,
you
sir.
got your undergraduate in computer science, correct?
Yes.
Or and then master's in cybersecurity, correct?
Cybersecurity, yeah.
Word. So while you were going through that process and working towards a career as a rapper and just like you know, trying to get your name out there as an artist, like how did you really combat that sort of like there's a stigma in hip hop communities a lot of times where it's like if you're going, you know, into rap or into hip hop culture or maybe into that like scene, if you're also going into education, they sometimes can't really coexist. So how did you really like combat that narrative and that
Or just
stigma,
being a rapper
maybe?
with a job.
Yeah,
Okay.
like any of
all
that, you know.
shit, yeah.
Let's great question once again. I love y'all
so
choices. This shit is well thought out. I salute y'all for that shit. 'Cause these are the real questions that people really want to know. And it's not just for me. I'm not speaking for the entire hip hop community. I'm just speaking for my experiences and I'm just gonna be transparent with you. In the beginning I would hide it, right?
Really?
Yeah, but I was hiding shit like that in high school.
Was it because like you'd feel embarrassed if people...
It was it was never cool to be smart, bro. We come from a place where motherfuckers don't ask you how many A's you made. They say how many F's you get. How many times have you heard that when you got your report card?
Yeah.
It's failure was the expectation, right? So if in most cases, not for everybody, right? If you think about it, for me, I never had people in high school ask me, yo, did you make the honor roll? It was always like, yo, how many F's you get, bro? Did you pass or did you fail? It was never going over the standard was like the bar. So thus, when you fast forward to college and you're doing music, hip hop has this like invisible cloak or firewall, right? They don't run really. I don't know if they could run synonymous, but they actually have always been in harmony with each other, like business and it's the music business. It's not the music friendship.
That's a fact.
You know, so I would hide it. I wasn't
Straight
embarrassed.
up hide it? Like,
yeah, and because
not talk about
when
it.
when I first got on Fordham campus, this girl named, I don't know if her name was Maddie or Madison or something like that, from Maryland, tall white girl, played on a softball team at the time. I was on MTV, Mixtape Daily at the time or some shit like that. It was in rotation, or she had seen it. When she saw me in front of the library, she said to me, yo, you look like this kid Amir that I have his mixtape on my phone, but it can't be you because he wouldn't be at Fordham.
Yeah, she said that?
I swear to God on my dead grandmother, bro.
How'd that feel?
What?
I felt puny. I did. I felt like...
It made you feel worse?
Yeah, it was like Clark Kent, and you see him, he's Superman, but he's in Clark Kent mode, and you looking at him like, he fuck, she don't know I'm really Superman. I ain't shit. Fuck around, put the cape on you, nigga. Like, but it really was, but it wasn't her issue to deal with. It was mine, right? Because at this point, I got to realize like, yo, bro, tech was kind of coming into play. I was on the internet using a lot of shit. The internet was my greatest weapon, right, at the time. And still now, right? So I will hide it. I hid it because I didn't feel like at the time, you're talking about 2000, that was 2014, right? 13 at Fordham when I started there. And I will hide it. And then as time progressed, people would kind of like, yo, boy, you look like this kid I seen on YouTube, but what's your name? I'd be like, Amir. They'd be like, nah, that ain't you. The girl ended up taking out her phone, bro, and she had my mixtape from Tommy Boy when I was on Tommy Boy / Warner Brothers, and she said, this is not you. And then she put the phone like this. She said, oh, shit. If anybody out there don't believe me, go to my Twitter, 25th Hour Man. You'll go in the feed, you'll see the pictures, the photos in the media, and you'll see the picture with me and her in the gym. Yeah? Yeah, and in the post I put, she couldn't believe it was me. Word. And at that point, it was like, okay, maybe it's not as bad, but the bad part was like, you're thinking about, it's like, what's it called, a double consciousness. Like W. Du Bois wrote about, you looking at somebody, how they're looking at you, and then in return you're looking back, and you're trying to operate within those parameters. Right?
Say that one more time.
It's called is it called the double consciousness or some shit?
Sounds right. Sounds right. I'm not as familiar.
Don't
as
quote
you,
me.
probably.
It is the double consciousness.
Okay.
The double consciousness is when he was talking about people of color, right?
Yeah.
When we around people that are not of color, let's say whites or whatever the case may be, during that time frame when he wrote it was almost 100 years ago. You're looking, it was a behavior, we were behaving a way where we were thinking about how they were looking at us, but at the same point in time, we were behaving according to how they was looking back.
So
Yo, I feel that.
projecting that
Yeah,
onto
facts.
others and then behaving in the way that you
We
think
thought-
they perceive.
It influences you
Okay.
the way that you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he and I don't quote. I don't know if it might have been W.E.B. Du Bois that wrote about that.
And I really feel that too, because it's like going into law now, like I feel like when people look at me, they don't really expect me to be into law. And like even when I'm in law school, I act different than what I really am, because I feel like people already has a conception of me that's like not really
But-
me. So it's
yeah,
like
so
I
you living
act
in that.
different.
You
And I
living
don't
in-
really know
yeah.
why I act different, but I definitely act
Yeah.
a little different when I'm in
Wait,
law
then,
school.
then the
and it's
people
kind of like,
in your class.
yeah, bro, like I stand out, like for a fact, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
see,
stand out
but
OD.
that's
like,
you
there's
operate-
not one black kid in my entire
Yeah,
class.
you told
me
100
that.
students, 100 students.
but think
and
about
I'm
it.
not black, but like there's
He's
also
a person of color. Yeah, it's a fact.
minorities.
He's a person of
Facts.
color.
Word.
He's melanated, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's all it. That's
And
all
I
it
dress
takes.
different, bro. Like,
Think about it.
All that.
He's operating within that double consciousness. The movie Us. Remember the movie Us?
Yeah.
It was the theory of it was based on that. Was based on that theory he wrote about sight. Yeah, it was. That movie is based on that. The double
Okay,
consciousness.
word. Damn, I need to rewatch that now. Looking at it
All
from
right,
that
so
framework.
I want to ask you. Let's say
I don't want to drip, but I get what you're going to talk about. I get you. I see you. Let's go.
Nah, for sure. So if you were to meet a young artist today and he's talking about going to school, would you encourage it?
Tell him to find his balance.
What's that look like?
And I see your face, man. I like that. You speak with your face. I like it. So to be clear, if an artist tells me, yo, I want to go to school, honestly, I'm not qualified to tell him yay or nay. I can only share my experience in the hopes that he would be like, yo, did it work for you? I'm like, yeah, because I had the discipline. And I managed my time properly. I was at Fordham, bro. I put out 2 mixtapes and was on the Dean's list the entire time.
Yep.
That's documented. I did a tape with Don Cannon, The Big Picture. I did America, and I was in between looking for. It's all love. I was in between. It's all love, baby. I was in between looking for a deal. At the time, I think I was dealing with like Gene Nelson and G. Roberson and those guys when they had like hip hop since 1978 as a management company.
Question: where did you?
Hey, we'll wait for you. We just gonna wait for you. We just gonna wait for you.
I was wondering if you knew how to do it. Push it in more. Push
Push it in more. Yeah.
Yeah, you see this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that work ethic from? Because I feel like that's something that not a lot of people have. Not even artists, just people. Period.
Being the middle child, man. You heard J. Cole's
Yeah.
song, right? He had a song called
Facts.
Middle Child, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. I got you. Hold on.
First time doing this, gang. I'm not.
Yeah.
Outside, take it out. No worries. Beep.
We good.
Yeah.
We not even gonna cut this out. This is just.
I bet. Out of character. Facts.
My man saying, you know, mechanic, but I get it.
He does this.
Yeah. Need IT department. What IT? You know what I'm saying?
All right, we back.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Facts.
Real time.
Being the middle child.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's some people subscribe to that, right? But I think my work ethic, honestly, bro, come from the women in my family, and this is not like a political answer. I know we talked about that. This is like a real, the women, like they work hard, they raise kids, they was doing a lot of shit, and really didn't complain. Like, just got to it. I'm not gonna say I didn't learn from men, but work ethic wise, when you really look at the gravity of what a woman does in a household. Grandmothers, mothers, aunts.
In the crib, hell yeah.
In the crib alone
Yeah.
and work and make sure you straight versus, father, uncle, or grandpa or whatever. It's two different gravities pulling at both entities, right? And it's a different weight. His responsibility may be to do X, Y, and Z to make sure certain things are squared away, but it always felt like your mother was your first teacher or your grandmother was your first teacher, and what they teach you about as far as how to work and move, you get what you put in, But I definitely say that the pillars of the foundation was my grandmother, my mother, and that's what I learned. And then going into the Army as well, I was in the military.
Yep.
So when I got there, I was, it just reinforced what I was already taught.
Do you have any advice for someone that wants to do something big with their life, but they feel like they don't have the work ethic, that they just don't have it? Like,
Great question, man. I would say don't overthink or underthink like the process, and not just saying it as a quote. Like understanding that the layers to that. One of my OGs told me years ago. He said to me, "Every overnight success took 10 years."
Yeah.
that's real.
But people think, you know, they're gonna make music or whatever. It could be a startup company, whatever. I'm just gonna do it, put the time in. I seen so and so do it. They go Google. I call it YouTube University.
Yeah,
They go to YouTube University, learn 2 or 3 facts, and forget it's 98 other facts that accompany these
Or
two.
even those 2 facts take 5 years to execute.
Yeah, right. So I
Facts.
think, you know, always put your facts before your feelings when you invest, something like that. And I would tell them, don't be realistic about the goal. Just set a goal and do it step by step, and don't worry about like what's gonna happen. And I say be unrealistic because once you start putting these caps on yourself and become a prisoner of somebody else's idea of how you should live your life.
I believe that 1,000,000%.
Or the thought processes
sure.
of like, you know, how you want to, like, it's really don't be a prisoner of someone else's idea of how you should live. I said it today on my page, like never take advice for somebody who never took
Never
a chance.
done it.
Yeah.
Hell
Facts.
yeah.
Right.
Do you put time limits on your goals? Like, I want this by this date. I just had this conversation the other day.
I used to.
You used to.
Yeah. But then I realized some things beyond my control in this world, bro. You know, like you life happens. You know, some dudes that want to drop certain things I'm in control of, right? So for instance, if I want to put a mixtape out or an album by this date, are we really independent? What if that site crashes? Or this thing, you know, you have to call an audible at that point. And when you call in an audible for the play, that's when, you know, just be flexible. You know, I used to do that. Certain things I know I can get done by a certain time if it's on me specifically. But if it's other people involved, I try to factor in what could happen.
I'm just curious.
Building off of that, you mentioned in another interview that somebody said that they haven't heard you until recently, like within the last like couple of months. And you were like, nah, you heard me at the right time, because it took me the 10 years before this to really get my craft developed and be to a point where it's like, now that you heard me for the first time, you know what I'm about and you know what my potential is.
Yeah.
So it's like building off of that, like for somebody who is like at the very earliest stages of their career, at the earliest stages of their career, and it's like they're working on that craft. Things are a lot more accessible than they were like maybe when you first started in terms of like getting.
I started like MySpace era, bro.
Yeah, so it was there, but like now it's like people feel like they made their first song, put it out. I don't know if that's the right or wrong approach, but it's like I'm asking you, how do you think that like before you put those 5 years of work in, 5 years of work in, what should you do until then? Like, you know, like how would you approach that if you were going back in your path and you had like Instagram and YouTube, like in the way that it's accessible?
I had YouTube, I had everything.
Yeah.
Only thing I actually had IG.
Yeah,
I had
okay,
IG when
yeah,
it was in
there.
beta. When it was in beta mode. I remember me and my brother. We had access to some of these platforms before they were like, you know, some of the tech guys. I know some of them. Like,
Word.
Yeah, and they would
A
send
little
us.
less pressure to like necessarily be on there, but like
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah,
So
it was
to answer
still
the
there.
question, because I don't want to. I know. To answer the question, I would. You really can't rush the process because see, when you create art, bro, right? The major thing to me personally is this: you can't predict how people are gonna receive it. Only thing you can really predict, you can somewhat have control of, bro, is your intent. What your intention is when you make the music, and even then, that could be kind of like whatever at times, depending on the energy you're around. My intention is to make a song to touch you, X, Y, and Z, right? But once I put it on SoundCloud and somebody says, oh, I thought it was about this, and you get mad, no, I was writing about the sky, but you thought it was the moon. Who gives a like? But the song goes crazy. So I think a lot of the times artists and people think they can control the other side of the variable, right? And walk away. Let's learn to walk away from the music once you put it out. It's no longer, it doesn't belong to you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, once you create a song, bro, it doesn't belong to you in the way you think it does. It belongs to the listener. Right? Even when I say these words to you, it don't belong to me once it comes out of my mouth, bro. It belongs to whoever sees it and hears it at that point. And
That's
up
such
for
a
them
dope
interpretation.
perspective.
Yeah.
I feel like so many artists, and I'm guilty of this when I used to make beats, I'd be like emotionally attached to my beats.
Yeah.
And I get tight when people say shit that doesn't like go along with the vision.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
matter.
That's real.
That's their vision.
Yeah.
That wasn't your intent, right?
That's fire.
Yeah, what your intent was should never be affected by somebody else's vision or what the bottom line is they felt it. They felt enough about it to say, well, I thought this about it. They gave it a thought. So you won.
Facts.
Right? If somebody, I don't like your shit, I hate it or I love it, I still made you feel a way.
Yo, that leads into something that I wanted to ask you. I feel like personally, because I went through a lot of your music too, I feel like from the outside looking in, it looks like you have no desire to be on the wave right now. Like it seems like you don't get, like, it seems like you're just doing you.
Always do me, man.
Yeah. And I respect that. I respect the artists holding their ground and
I keep
sticking
it this
to
way.
this. Yeah.
And to be honest, you attract certain shit when you do it like that. I'm not. I have trap records. I have drill beats, shit that I've done. Trendy music versus classical, or let's say quintessential New York sounding music, right? Soulful street music. By nature, I understand the fiber of who I am, right? And what I was around, like your uncles raising you, I had men and women around me that were soulful people. But my byproduct is what? I was going to be a soulful guy regardless. It was just it was in the books for me. I don't run away from that.
Could you talk about what comes from that? I feel like a lot of artists are scared to do that.
Stand alone?
Yeah. It's hard.
It's tough. It's tough at times.
Do you feel like you're standing
No,
alone?
I'm not. Because I got Pete Rock.
Facts.
That's
Right?
a fact.
I'm not standing alone with True Soul. I'm not standing alone if I got Arsonist. I'm not standing alone if I got somebody like 88 Keys. I'm not standing alone if I can call up a dude like a Shy Books or artists that are my friends that, have so millions of records, right? These are just, and it's not name dropping. I'm just saying this is just reinforcement from the universe almost, bro. That me staying true to self is like, how can it be art if it's not true to self, right? And be felt, right? Everybody that you name, right? If you look at outside of the genre like hip hop, Bob Marley, you can look at any great artist. What was the common denominator? They stayed true to self. Right, regardless,
I feel like
and it's tough.
It is hard, and I think that a lot of people get into music talking about what I was telling you before about intentions. Some people are just trying to get a bag, and
that's
don't care
cool.
about that.
And to be honest, if that's their intent, I don't have heaven or hell for them, so I can't judge them. But will they be around 5 years from now when somebody bumping into some Amir shit versus keep it a buck versus bumping the trendy shit?
Yeah.
My shit is made with the intent to be timeless. You could turn my shit on today. You could have turned it on in the 40s. Niggas would have been like, oh, this motherfucker is on some
Would you
shit.
advise artists to take that route too?
I advise everybody to be true to self. Right? Because if you're not being true to self, then what you capping it, right?
Where's your value? Where's your worth coming from?
You fucking with the fiber of the art now, and more over that of yourself. We just talked about that, right? Like, I told you that I would hide music when I was in college from that audience. I didn't want them to know, I was kind of ashamed that, I would hide, then you go around guys that, that I was doing certain things with or whatever, and I didn't tell them that I was at Fordham. Fordham was a great school, right? A real good school, right?
Something to be proud of.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right, if you get into NYU, Columbia, schools like that, and you hide it when you around your bros, who's really the problem? Same thing, like, to address what you're saying, to me is ill though, because Pete always tells me, he said, bro, don't die with anything left unsaid. He said, get all of that shit out of you.
Yeah.
And when he told me that, he wasn't being morbid, but I understood the intent of his statement. Like, get busy. It's a lot of music to make, and just make sure that you're in pocket. You know, you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, I did it my way, you know. And yeah, but that's the thing though. When you're dealing with samples versus like a Griselda-ish sound or a J. Cole or a Kendrick, the comparisons that some of the guys made comparisons to me, people that really, because I'm just really getting in that audience, that lane. I'm not really popping like that in that particular lane yet. 8 months from now, you may rewind this interview like, yo, after Dope Boy Soul drop and be like, oh, this nigga's on fire. Or somebody could rewind it and be like, he's not on fire. It means I got more work to do. Both variables can happen. So I say, but one thing that I can always be proud of is that I never compromise the integrity or the fiber of my person to make the somebody outside of me like me or whatever, because fans and people can see that shit and that's what they don't gravitate to.
Do you think that's necessary for like longevity? Not compromising?
At some point, you're gonna have to not compromise, bro.
Not compromise?
You're gonna have to not.
And at some point,
for longevity.
For longevity.
Yeah. Times you do, times you don't.
Yeah.
Because if everybody's pushing you over, mowing you over, you're not gonna last. Some things you gotta stand up and be like, yo, I do have a ethical or a moral compass. I'm not letting you do that to my shit. I mean, Kanye would be a great example of someone who...
that's a fact.
Right? Like, you know, even when people thought he wasn't, he might have had not so savory moments in the eye of the public, but he was still able to do one thing. Even when he lost himself, it was still a part of himself that was telling him, bro, you know this ain't it, right? And not just him. I'm using him as a marquee example. This is happening in somebody's project, somebody's school. It's happening right now to millions of other people who just, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I kept it this way. Also, it kept me this way. Because I'm not bigger than the message. Like that's the biggest thing about music to me. The messenger is never bigger than the message. And once you think you're bigger than the message, bro, you will no longer be used to say shit. So you can go sit over there in the mucus pool with people who got put in that.
Damn.
You said damn.
I feel that for a fact.
It's
like
I'm just saying, bro. I'm not trying to, I'm saying I talk like this. Niggas gonna be like, this niggas doing some other shit. But I really just how I move, bro. This how I move.
Nah, I feel that, bro. OD. So since we on the topic of like what really makes Amir like special as an artist and really resonate with the audience and people that he connects with, like you were the first artist to be signed to P Rock's label.
Yes, sir.
True Soul. Facts. Yeah. So shout out that. So what do you think that P Rock saw at you like at the time that you met?
We both.
That's right. That's an important topic.
That's real though.
To give you, I'm not qualified to say what he would think.
Yeah.
Right.
But what do you
first,
think?
But I have to because I want to make that.
Yeah.
My staple.
Word.
Before I go into what I think, what he has said I was shocked, man.
You were shocked.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
There's millions of artists P could have signed, whether it's from Mount Vernon, Yonkers, New Rochelle, Peaks, anywhere. It could have been anywhere, LA, Chicago. They would have jumped at the opportunity, right? What he said was part of what I told you, stay true to self. When he signed me, I ended up calling him about 2 days later. I was driving to...
After he signed you?
Yeah, about 2 days later. But I already had beats. We was already working together before the deal went down. Like, but it wasn't like... it was like, yo, here go 11 beats, right to those joints, holla at me. I didn't know what the play was. I just know he gave me 11 joints. But to answer the question, so this is all leading to the point what I'm saying. He then said, yo, do you want to come over to True Soul?
But if you're the first artist, True Soul was just a vision for him at the time? Or is
I don't know. I don't know. I just know he had True Soul rocking.
Okay. Gotcha.
He said he got an imprint. Yo, I want you to be the first guy to come over here. But he was also talking about everything that we're speaking about. Somebody that could represent the brand properly, right? Whether it's from having the right conversation piece, know how to present yourself, know how to maneuver in any lane. I'm comfortable whether I'm in the middle of somebody's projects, right? Of course, I wouldn't be able with a big ass chain on trying to chill, but I would know how to maneuver in each lane, right? I can go in a boardroom, talk to that. I could go in a classroom. I could go in a room full of soldiers. I could go in a classroom. That's something that he
valued? Being able to be versatile?
He said, you're in the middle of everything, and it's not preachy. You're not preachy, but you're in the middle of everything. But also, let me get to this. That wasn't the reason. The reason is this from his mouth, right? He said, when I gave him the music back, you know, he heard how I might have sounded on the beats or whatever. He thought that's how I would sound. But when I gave him the records back, he said my voice matched where his production was currently at the time. He said it was a match made in heaven. It was an article, I think, on Spitfire, one of those articles. I didn't know he did that. I said that. He said that the texture of my voice matched where his production is currently at right now.
I 100% see that.
Yeah, and he said,
hell yeah, your voice meshes OD well.
Yeah, so he said that was the case, and when he heard it, he said it was a match made in heaven for him, and we just, you know, he said, yo, let's do it, and it wasn't like based on a lyrical miracle, or how tough, or how cool, or how fly, or how dirty you are. It was just really he loved Pete Rock, loves music, and my voice ended up being an instrument on his production that he wanted to represent or be a part of his legacy and his brand.
So what advice would you give to a upcoming artist that wants to get the attention of someone at that level and lock in at that level? What would you say to them to get there?
Damn, bro, that's a trick question, but it's a good one. Okay, it's not one way to get their attention, right? For me, it was relationships, consistency, and even when I thought, it's really what you do when nobody's watching.
That's a fact,
right? It's not about them watching you. It's about what you do when nobody's watching you. That work ethic. Those nights you're in front of the mic, in the crib, to 2, 3 in the morning. Your eyes puffy. You cotton mouth. You're trying to get a verse off, right? You put in the work, right? You get up, step and repeat. You look up. You got mad records. Now you got to go through the process of, just those 10,000 plus hours. Consistency, persistence, and those are not just blanket words. $45 words I'm using that have a $5 meaning either. I'm just telling you some real shit. Like, to get that, for me, my advice would be, bro, stay true to self and just consistently put in the work. People what's for you will always find you. Essentially,
what's for you will always find you.
Yeah, essentially, that's how I would look at it. Because, whether it's Pete or Dr. Dre or whoever, a Kanye or a Hit Boy coming to get you or say, yo.
Do you think it'd be better to say, like, yo, I want to lock in with a Hit Boy and do everything in your effort to get to Hit Boy, or just say, yo, I'm going to just be dope and do me and let what comes come?
Both. Yeah. I would say, make the intent that you want to meet a producer at a Hit Boy caliber, or even Hit Boy himself, but you still got to do the legwork, right? For instance, story, QuickTime.
Okay.
If I place you and him at the top of a mountain, right? A helicopter coming, I'd drop you at the top of the mountain, right? Y'all at the top of the mountain, right? Chilling. You're like, oh shit, we at the top of the mountain. Motherfuckers trying to get up here.
Yeah.
Right? I jog to the top of the mountain day after day until my legs can get me up to the top of the mountain. One day you pop up, you see me at the top of the mountain with you. The difference is, I'm going to last longer than you because my legs are strong enough to hold me at the top of the mountain when you've been placed at the top of the mountain. You didn't do the legwork.
Yeah.
You saw me doing the legwork. When you was there, you're like, damn, he gonna get up here one. That's the same process I would tell people, don't try to get placed at the top. If there's a process that comes with that. And even if you do get placed at the top and somebody who actually did the legwork, they're going to smoke you.
That facts. Yeah. I agree with that so much.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to tell someone that, especially you're talking about someone who grew up without shit. You got no money, you hungry every night. It's hard to tell them that. But
it is. It is. And that's, I said, it's variable. And each situation has different variables, right? So it's not like a static answer or a linear answer for something that has such a non-linear process.
For sure.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit, talking about you and P Rock's relationship. How did you being like family, like you developed a brotherhood with him, like impact your deal making process and like really, you know, landing on some paperwork or some mutual agreement that you could both stand on?
It's super fair, bro. Treated me super fair, man. I couldn't ask for a better situation. Like, you know, it was beyond fair to me, you know. I think there was a mutual respect for each other as men and as human beings first. So it made doing the business side of it easier, right? Your lawyer talked to his lawyer, and these are the agreements. And
it was two lawyers talking. Y'all didn't talk at all?
Yeah, we talked, but you know what I'm saying? You still got to have legal people look at the contract.
Yeah, so you really mostly, like, could you go through like a little bit step-by-step process? Because, you know, that's something that's kind of unfamiliar
for any artist. For
most
most artists, when you get a deal, bro, right?
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer. Right, number one. But no, he doesn't. The producer's not gonna say, "Yo, here go your contract." It's not like you at the table. He like, "Yo, bro," like it's the mob. Yo, it's an offer you can't refuse. It's not that.
Yeah.
His lawyer sends you an email. In most deals, right? I'm gonna have my lawyer contact you. You going to Def Jam? They're not gonna have the A&R say, "Yo, you signing to me." No. Def Jam sends the lawyer from that company, sends you the email or the lawyer that represents you. Most cases, you have to have a lawyer present. If they give it to you, it's a hot spot deal. They're going to do it right there. They'll tell you go find a lawyer, and then how you want to negotiate it. Once you negotiate the terms and what you agree to, you may nudge and go back and forth with, you know, some of the, let's say, little nuances of your contract. Meaning that the little quirks in it that you may or may not like could be something simple as, "Oh, I want to do this," or "Can I get this?" Yeah, we'll let you have, you know, right there. So you get what you negotiate. It's a music business. This is not the friendship portion, right? You make sure that your lawyer understands your vision. They talk to his lawyer. Then when it comes to a term, your lawyer be like, "Yo, this is a good deal."
How do you think someone should prepare for stepping in that situation for the first time? Will you actually have like labels or like big artists or producers looking at you?
You have to step into it, bro, with some form of some like business acumen, right? And knowing how you want to posture yourself in a deal, meaning how you want your business to stand up or lay down, right? If your business is leaning sideways and you're trying to get a deal, it's going to be shaky. You know what I'm saying? But if your business is postured upright and you going to, it's clear, it's concise, the terms are clear, you know, just kind of keep that in the back of your head, how you want to be represented and how you want to have yourself in your business looked at, right? From that standpoint, I would tell, because that's a conversation that you got to have with yourself, because it's not like the movie 5 Heartbeats and you're going to sign the big red records and get jerked and hang over, you know. It's like but these things happen because guys don't really look at the terms properly. For instance, you had, what was his name? YG, right? Said he never got $1 from his sales, bro. You never saw the article? This is recent. Google it.
I have not seen that one.
Nah, yeah. In the game, y'all talk about business music. You gotta look this stuff up. Recently, come on, I'm on y'all. I'm interviewing you guys. Y'all niggas, come on, bro. Listen, Snoop said he never got $1 from Doggy Style.
Nah, yeah.
Y'all bugging?
Yeah.
Come on, like, and it's not because he was he still made millions and millions of dollars, but that particular that moment, he didn't maybe look at the fine details of his contract. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not qualified to say what he did. I wasn't there. But what I can say, based on the results of that, something was missing. Somebody had an oversight.
Yeah.
And millions of dollars either sitting somewhere or can't be retrieved. And you talking about publishing, licensing, and all kinds of things that surround those type of deals, right? Or any deal. So now it becomes a trickier game. But it's not like before because you can research this stuff.
Facts.
And if you get off YouTube and IG or Twitter, the internet is a very big place. A lot of information, you know, you look it up. And not look at it, read it. And understand.
Yeah.
There's a book called Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business.
I have that.
You have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Every one of those joints.
Yeah.
Like, every type of those books that you could have.
I definitely got that book.
Not facts.
It's a great.
But it's like
it's a good point of reference.
I actually
Yeah,
haven't
it's
read
like-
that book, but everyone I know has referred it to me.
Yeah.
I need to read it.
Yes.
But
And it's like one thing I've noticed is like you'll see something on one source and like you really have to check that same similar information in like a bunch of different sources to realize if it's like something that like you should apply to your perspective or like approach to like things. 'Cause it's like one source will say this, another source will say this, another source will say that, and it's like you really have to find your own balance between it if you haven't lived it yourself. So it's like
interesting.
Yeah.
it's important to really not just because you've seen it on one video from some guy that has a couple thousand views and has good marketing doesn't mean that it's the best
true.
quality
Yeah, it
information.
doesn't- it
to
doesn't
approach.
make it a
Like,
fact.
The
Yeah.
best content I feel like I found are like from lawyers or like other people in the industry that have like a couple hundred views, like, and they don't understand the marketing and branding or don't put that effort towards it. But it's like you could find good content and shit.
Let me
that's
tell you
not
something.
the most popping
Will
video.
always remain constant. One thing I never argue with is facts.
that's a fact.
I made a policy with myself for life. Family, friends, it could be a baby, whoever. You telling me the facts, I'm not going to argue with that. I don't argue with facts. What's the point? It's a waste of time,
Facts.
right? So when dudes are getting these contracts and you're not really taking the initiative of doing your due diligence to look at something that's going to affect you and your livelihood for years to come, you're going to be in the mucus pool. I'm calling you, you know what I'm saying? Because you didn't take the time. Like, how serious do you really take your craft?
Yeah.
You have some, I just want to focus on the art, not the
You talked about in another interview how you had a kind of groundbreaking deal where you got a 70-30 split on one of your contracts with Tommy Boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, could you speak on how you really wound up landing a deal that's like unorthodox for the company to really, you know, put forth? Like, I'm sure on your side there had to be something that like was unique to your situation that, and you know, maybe what do you think?
That's
led
the,
to
you,
that?
you did some research, bro. I like
Thanks.
that.
Yeah.
My deal with Tommy Boy at the time, my Vivo numbers was crazy. My I didn't need them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was
And
doing
to be clear, 70-30 on your
70-30 my favorite,
in
yeah.
your favorite fact.
Yeah, so Rosie, shouts out to Rosie over there, man. Rosie Lopez. She and because it was kind of one of the first deals of its kind, like it wasn't like it was very definitely unorthodox because it wasn't heard of. It's like you're dealing with a digital. I named the album only built for digital links because we were strictly putting it out through digital distributors. The risk wasn't on their part. I had recorded it myself. I had my Todd Terry had mastered. Well, not Todd Terry. It was Ill Bill, not Ill Bill. Bill something. Todd Terry has an engineer called Bill, and Wild Bill, and he mixed it. We had Shaw Books did some of it. Danny G was on that album, and the 70-30 split portion was because they really didn't take the risk. I did, and I was watching something earlier. You do know that when you don't have any records of sales, right? They can only base it off your market and what your projections or predictions for you, what that's gonna look like in the future, maybe, right? That's a standard format for how negotiation and how they negotiate the power of what they're gonna give you. So I didn't take an advance.
Okay, word.
I didn't take an advance from
Not
them.
at all, yeah.
Nah.
Word.
And gave me more leverage. So instead of, it can't be a 50-50 if I'm doing all of the work. You just putting it on a fucking, and even then the 30% was still a jerk if you think about it. In today's market, I'm giving you 30% plus pub and plus XYZ from an album that you really just bloop, put it on a DSP.
Yeah.
Was I really look at myself, right? But at the time, I was thinking about marketing. I was thinking about the my brother, Success J, and I said it in a freestyle. He said, "Yo," he said, "Fuck it, man. Keep it independent." He said, if you gotta sell dope to be independent, like just not technically, but he was just that's what he was saying. He was like, "Yo, man, fuck it, keep it independent. Use your own money. They're not doing nothing for you. Like, we doing all of this, like the videos. We had all of the relationships with the blogs and the media outlets, right, at the time. I could hit a button and hit, whether it was complex media, well, not even complex, we talk about Well, it was two dope boys, and when blogs really had that much leverage. Now playlists versus blogs, it's still like that civil war where people talk about. So, but I had playlists that was starting to like rock. I had the Vivo channel, so those things gave me the leverage to get the 70-30 split.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really mostly numbers. And how did you approach just presenting the numbers? Was that something that just...
Nah, that's what they said to me.
She saw it. Yeah, she saw it.
And it could have been, too,
wasn't
because they didn't really take me too serious. It could have been some, let's give us more. It could have been that, too. It could have, you ain't really that hot. Let's
try
give them 70, 30, Tony, let them rock. Let's see what happens. You know, then when you come back, the negotiation power was a lot different.
That's a fact.
Right? But I used that as leverage, and I did a lot with it.
Word.
Yeah, that deal was cool. And I didn't know at the time Tommy Boy was a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. I didn't know that.
Yeah, when you signed, you didn't know that at all? Yeah, word.
That's when I walked in the room, I see all of these plaques on the wall. I mean, hip-hop legends, like it was Naughty by Nature, Nori, and, you know, I'm like, oh, shit, they didn't know what to do with my shit, so I'm like, fuck it.
Interesting. All right, this is getting kind of long, so I'm just going to ask one more question in here. But this is the biggest thing that I really wanted to know from you. Being around someone like Pete Rock, and I'm sure everyone that he's introduced you to, could you just tell people what the difference is between people who are seasoned in their career and reach a certain level of success versus people who are upcoming?
The difference to me is work ethic. Work ethic and discipline, right? Joel Ortiz, arsonist, right? Two good friends of mine. Arsonist, Pete, whoever, plus they're Jamaican. We gotta add that too. They get up every day, bro, and they make beats every day. It's not a job.
It shows.
They just do it every day. They don't look at it like a job. They don't look at it like, oh, I'm trying to get something out of it. It's step and repeat. And they're not just making beats, they're trying to get better.
Yeah.
So how can you know, Eminem. So Joel was telling me that Eminem comes in the studio at 9 a.m. Car drops him off, boom. 5 o'clock, lunch comes, he leaves, go gets his lunch. No matter what's happening in the studio, he's checking out. 1:30, come back. 5 o'clock, all right, guys. He don't give a fuck what is. Akon told the same story about him.
Oh, on the Breakfast Club. I saw
that's a fact, though.
Yeah, that shit is fire.
But Joel told me the same thing. He said, bro, that he's leaving at 5. Tapping out. He don't care how hot the verse is.
Damn, word.
Yeah. So it's not just this whole, yo, I'm a grind until you're tired. You need proper rest, step and repeat, rest, step and repeat, bro. I would say that, to answer your question, is what I've seen between people who really do it and people who just don't have a regimen in place to know how to be the most productive version of themselves. Once you get to that level, you know what helps you reach your peak performance. Full body workout. Somebody just starting to lift weights is just trying to look for muscles, right? But you don't get muscles in the gym from watching me work out. You got to lift the weight yourself, bro.
Facts.
So I would tell an artist, like, lift the weight.
God, it just reminded me of this fucking quote. It's like, I wish I remember it word for word, but it was like, it's like something like you can't pay someone to do push-ups for you.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
It's the same thing, though, like, right? So, same underlying philosophy to it, right? You just make sure that you do the legwork, bro, and consistency and step and repeat. It has never failed, bro. And be patient.
That's fine.
Yeah, because it may not happen when you want it to happen. And my grandfather always told me, said to me, most people don't make it because they quit before their time. I'm a living example of that. I just never quit before my time, bro. I kept going and going. People talking shit. You know, you too this, you too that, you too fat, you too skinny, you too young, you too old, you too yellow, whatever the case may be. The two people, I call it, the two tribe.
The two tribe.
Yeah, don't join the two tribe. Don't make me put you in the two tribe. Right? Damn. So they'll sit there and tell you what you too much of because that's them projecting what they're not enough of. And they'll have you sitting right there believing that shit and you'll imprison yourself, and you won't reach that point of the question you asked, like what separates you? What separates you is mindset and making all of these things work in harmony.
Word.
But you have to put the work in, period, consistently, day
That
in
was
and day
beautiful.
out.
OD.
Shit.
I'm gonna just ask one final question
you got
too.
it.
Yeah, facts, yeah. Nah,
I got all night, whatever. I got time. I'm not in a rush. Y'all let me
All
know.
night.
Yeah,
I don't like an hour.
Yeah, we're past the hour. I don't want to go well
Yeah,
past the
yeah,
hour.
yeah.
All right, bet. So I'm gonna just leave it like it'd be an injustice. Like you're somebody who's
You could
very,
use this shit for your Instagram, then fucking talk to me.
Fuck it.
Facts.
So yeah, you're a very forward thinker, especially when it comes to the intersection of technology and music.
Yeah,
So,
this is for the gram.
yeah, I bet. Yeah,
This is a good question. I wanted this one. I
yeah,
couldn't
so
wait. Couldn't wait for
you
this.
know, I'm gonna leave you a little bit of space to talk on where you see the future of this, because you know there's a lot of talk of the NFT space, metaverse space, and all those things that really have to do with like technology and music. I'm gonna just leave you a little bit of space to talk on like predictions, you know, like what you would hope for, and maybe things you're bullish on.
Okay. Great question.
Thank you.
And I'm going to package this for you
Bet.
properly. What's happening in what I would call you have underdeveloped people with overdeveloped ideas of who they are speaking about something that they know nothing about, right?
You're talking about people in the NFT space and
Or whatever space they want to call it, because Clubhouse ruined the word space for me.
Yeah.
The word space bothers me right now.
Okay.
I'm in a space, right? I get it.
Yeah.
He triggered me.
I see that.
Nah, fuck with you. Nah, but what's happening, bro? Being a technologist, man, and there's deep technology, and there's the technology that we see that is popular technology, which is not. Half of our community is usually 5 to 10 years behind.
hip hop.
Hip hop facts when it comes to tech, right? Technology can exist without music. Can music exist without technology is the question. It was headed this way regardless.
Yeah.
I've been telling niggas this. Mm-hmm. I see you perplexed. Think, please.
Nah, you know what? No, I'm
Yeah.
thinking back because you're not the first person I've heard say that.
Okay, yeah,
But
yeah.
I've never heard like evidence as to why. I just heard other people.
Okay,
say that.
evidence.
Would you
I'm a
substitute art or
point in
music?
case? Point in case.
Maybe not. It's just
Point in case. Watch this. Point in case. Records.
Mm-hmm.
Getting pressed.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Sort of tech.
Technology.
Yeah.
Industrial technology. Right? Internet. Well, radio. What is that? Technology. Okay. Internet. What is that? Technology. CDs, technology. Walkman was technology. The TV that you watch the videos on, technology. Technology will always exist without the shenanigans of what we do. The thing about it is this. I'm going to give you how much we don't matter and we do matter at the same time. Because I know some people will be like, who the fuck does God think he is? Just think about this. I'm going to use this guy again. I hate using his name. Yeah, well, Zuckerberg lost, what, $7 billion when they had that outage on IG.
for like the 7 hours?
It was a regional outage.
Really?
Right? A regional outage about tech.
That was what, like 6
No,
months ago?
it was a regional outage with Meta.
Yeah.
Facebook, now Meta.
Mm.
Right? Regional outage. He lost $7 billion in 4 to 6 hours. It took Kanye West damn near 20 years to make $7 billion. You do the math for who's having the right conversation and who you praising. They chuckle at us. We don't. Guy, what are you talking about? Maybe just rappers, guys. Okay, you got a couple $1 billion. Maybe you spent that on lunch. We're going to spend that at the Christmas party this year. The pandemic breeded so many. If they allow it, so basically, what I say about the NFT zone in the metaverse world is, people are trying to represent it, but they don't have the knowledge or the depth to have those conversations. So it's a lot of shattered facts floating around about what is what and how it works. What's the underlying technology? How things are going to work? If it's not a functional NFT, meaning that not a functional, an NFT that fixes a problem, a solutional a solutional NFT, right? Technology has always thrived on what? Solutions.
Facts.
Right? If something fixes a problem or makes something more easier for you, it then booms. A regular NFT, if you put on your socks, is not solutional, bro. An NFT of you doing X, Y, but know what? It'll make some people a lot of money, but that's to keep you away from what's really happening. AI and machine learning.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence and machine learning is where it's been at. I mean, I had the opportunity to work at Cornell Tech for a couple of years, 2 years, right? With artificial intelligence engineers, being a cybersecurity engineer, and machine learning engineers, working on being stakeholders in a lot of projects that have now affected technology that we use today or will be used in the upcoming years. So to wrap it up for you, you know, we have to check the credentials of the people in front of us that are speaking.
That's real.
Right? And talking and using words, or they go to YouTube University, learn some jargon, some rhetorical devices they put in their shit, and come out in the barbershop around a few friends and, oh, this shit works. I'm going to keep doing it now. Now, I am a blockchain pioneer. How?
Yeah.
Can you pull up to the command line and do anything? No. It's disrespectful to guys like me and hackers and people who really put in the pain and took the time to learn these things. For you to poke your chest, it's like being a blood or a crip. What I look like running on your block, putting a flag on, saying, yo, gang, get on with it, or whatever they got going on. It's like, so when you come to a block of technology guys and you can't pull up to the command line and answer any deep technology questions, you get pushed out the room. You're not qualified to sit at the table and have these conversations. Being an active part of the conversation, you could be a spectator until you can really answer those questions. And I think that's what's happening, is we have a lot of spectators acting like they're active participants in the world of technology. And this is creating this conundrum of shadow facts and this misinformation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because NFT is like the cool shit now.
Yeah.
So
like,
and it created a lot of people that's not
Yeah,
passionate.
it's like a
about
bubble. Like it's the same. It's equivalent to having. I told my friends, and you can chop this up. I want y'all to chop this up for real. I probably don't, or give me the shit.
Oh,
Right?
we will.
Yo, listen. In 2016, and when it hit in the comments, I want my friends put up a peace sign or whatever of how many people I told to buy Bitcoin. It was $800, $800. Definitely wasn't over $1,500 at the time. I bought a couple pieces. That's my business. Don't ask me no questions after that. Right? I told people. This is 5 years ago, bro. So when people talk to me about a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or Cardano or any of these coins, I'm not saying that I'm above you or better, but you're 5 years behind, bro. And to keep it a buck, Bitcoin been out for damn near probably over 10.
Yeah, it's like 2012, 13,
Yeah.
some shit like that. Yeah.
It was pennies.
Yeah.
And like, again, we're 5 to 10 years behind the curve. NFTs are not solutional. They'll keep you occupied. But if you really want to make some bread, you got to start doing more research.
Yeah.
And anything after this, I'm going to have to charge people a consulting fee. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair
You know what I'm
enough.
saying? I'm just saying to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm really qualified to talk this type of shit.
Word. It's
Like, respectfully
like
qualified.
98,
Documented.
99% of the NFT shit will pop at some point.
Yeah.
Like same way of the internet domain and Web 2.0.
And
It's like most of those
and even
crash
and even
didn't
with the
last, but-
metaverse, and people, the metaverse been around. Like, you've always had virtual reality, right? VR stuff going on, and only certain people that were really into deep tech will really play with these things. But if you think about the metaverse like you think about the regular internet, it's like having a premium version of the internet that you can now interact with. You have like partial VR stuff where it's like when people were finding Pokemon outside, they was already prepping you to see, collecting behavioral data on how you would move anyway.
Okay,
Right?
word. That makes
These
sense.
things are not just done overnight, bro. These things take time to build. And if I'm selling a profile of your behavior to the highest bidder because you don't know how to tell these search engines to take your shit off of there, you're just out here, right? So whether it's metaverse, NFT, or whatever, I just encourage people, to check the credentials of who you're getting the information from. Like, seriously, check that. Because
that's anything too. That's
I see rappers.
Too.
I see rappers, right, talk about crypto, and they have every right to. It's America. They have freedom of speech, right? But I've actually done audits on some of their pages, personally. I got hackers that are my friends in real life. I'm not really the one you want to do that with, right? Like for real, like. But it's ethical hacking, and then you have non-ethical hacking. These are two different conversations.
Word.
Right? I did an audit on a artist. I looked at their coin. Right? Facing the internet, it was marketed like it was doing well. The coin didn't even do probably 400 to 500 transactions in the last 3 to 4 months when you looked at it. It didn't even have white papers on it. It was using ERC20 as an underlying Ethereum, for people that don't know, right? It's really just an over-glorified smart contract. That's what NFTs are, to a degree. Like, they're non-fungible tokens, right? But they run on the same premise and kind of nature that a smart contract runs under. And if smart contracts are written in what? It's written in code, bro. And if you can't read the code, you don't know what's in the contract. So people are running into this shit blind. You can buy an NFT, and then the contractual part of the contract or the coding portion, they can say, yo, once your shit get to 80,000, I'm taking the whole shit, all right?
Yeah.
But you said, yo, I got an NFT.
Idea.
You wake up one morning, your shit is gone.
Damn, yeah.
But legally, you didn't even know, because you don't know how to read, which, once again, shattered facts. It's happening right now. It's the wild, wild west out here, bro.
OD.
And if you ain't prepared or got friends like me, or when I say I have friends that outside of myself that know these things. And this information is available to everybody, but we're looking at shit that's not going to matter. We're 5 to 10 years behind. Remember I said that.
Word.
You got to play catch up.
Interesting. Well, this interview was dope as fuck.
We just gotta close out one more thing. Like, shout out your cousin Omarion, since we have peace.
Yeah.
That's
right,
man.
man.
To say that real quick.
Man.
So
I know what I know. This is for me, bro. This is really. I'm in peak, Scott. You know, shout out to my cousin Omarion McKenzie, bro. You know,
Thanks.
Derek and the family. You know, we know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the morning I got the call or whatever from my cousin Brian. What much I want to say on camera, you know, I don't want to get into all that, but it's just the fact that, bro, you gotta stop the goofy shit, man. Period.
That's what you. That's just.
It's just goofy,
That's it.
man. It's just goofy. It's you know, and senseless at this point. And it hasn't stopped since it happened to him. It still continues, right?
Word.
And, you know, we have to value life a lot more than what we have. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. I'm just stating facts, because we all got a date with the dirt. But come on, man, it's whack, bro. Like, it's just whack, man. Like a lot of the things that happen, but
yeah,
it's unfortunate. A different type of unfortunate for me and my family.
I can't even imagine.
It's so young, you know. So much ahead, right? You look at what's ahead of that person, right? But we don't know how long your dash is, how short or long your dash is in between you and those dates, right? So,
you touched a lot of people in this community, so we just had to bring that up real quick.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, bro. That's definitely that's my blood,
Thank
bro.
you so much for pulling up with us,
sir.
brother.
Thank you.
Dope ass conversation, sir. OD, brother.
Real quick, could you tell the people where to find you on social media?
Absolutely, man. You can find me on IG, Instagram is AMXXR, man. Amir. And on Twitter, I'm 25th Hour, man. Number 2, number 5, THOURMAN. AMXXR TV on YouTube. And anything, just type in AMXXR these days, bro. You'll find me on the internet, man. Nice. With 21 Grams is out right now. Shouts out to True Soul.
Straight heat all the way through.
Shouts out to Peace Criminals 4 that's coming out. Shouts out to the P-Rock and the Soul Brothers, Big Yuki, Daru Jones, Mono Neon, Jermaine Holmes, Christopher McBride, Brandon Newsom. That is also Buzz. Yeah. And and everybody that's involved, my man G Week, shouts out to him, and everybody that's been involved in the projects, man, Howie McDuffie, and all of the guys, man, that have helped and actively helping along the way, bro. But most importantly, man, shouts out to my big bro, P-Rock. We got a lot of fly shit coming for y'all, man. Good hip-hop, Dope Boy Soul's on the way. Peace Middles 4 is dropping first. I think it's coming this month, like February, actually, yeah. And just be on the lookout, man. And I look forward to y'all joining the Vibe Tribe, man. We here to vibe and have fun, man. You know, when y'all have some shit, let me know. I might pull up, and you know.
Hey, words. Yeah, a lot coming up.
Hella shows. So, yo, that's the show. Appreciate you tuning in if you made it this far. Please subscribe, tap in with the community. You know, we're trying to build this community of like-minded artists and people who want to grow together, support each other, and just make it to the top. So, if you're an artist, please subscribe. And, February 27th, we're having a pop-up shop here at the studio. And then we have 4 concerts coming up. March 25th, March 26th, April 1st, April 2nd. I'll drop details to that in the in the description. And thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming, man, bro.
Yeah. Yo, that was fire.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, bro.
Likewise, man. Indeed.